Have you ever wondered, what is it like living in Denver, Colorado? Well, it's not too bad actually, and I will tell you why. I've lived in Denver, Colorado for several years. Yeah, I actually live in a suburb of Denver, Colorado, right around Arvada and Westminster. Always going to Denver, basically right next door. So I'm very experienced that whenever I go out, go do anything, meet anyone, it's usually always in Denver and downtown Denver. Now, what's it like? First thing that comes to my mind, it's not humid at all. It's a very dry climate. It doesn't rain a whole heck of a lot here. We'll have some spring storms, so late summer storms that come off the mountains, which is kind of cool. But a lot of it is just enough to get your car dirty, and then comes with a lot of wind usually. So you get your car, just especially if you have a black car like me, gets it real dirty. So having to wash your car quite a bit is kind of annoying when it rains. Now, a lot of times it'll go weeks and weeks without raining. It's not like Phoenix type. I know they have the monsoon season, but the rest of the time of year it's pretty dry there. Denver is also pretty dry. We get a lot of our moisture and a lot of our precipitation during the winter months and early spring because it still snows here. One thing is kind of interesting that we get a lot of our snow between Halloween and like tax day. But recently it seems like we've always gotten like one last storm in May. It's just like a really wet snow that comes down, breaks a lot of tree limbs, it causes power outages. But then that snow is like gone in like 2 days. It could snow like 9 inches, and within 48 hours, that snow is gone. Unless it's on the north side of a house or a building, which is really kind of interesting about Denver. The sun and the atmosphere makes the sun come down so much stronger. So it might only be like 90 degrees outside, but you get in your car and oh my gosh, you like touch your steering wheel and it's just blazing hot. Especially if it's like facing south, southwest, and that sun's like coming down. It could be a lot. You might burn your bum. Wintertime. Colorado is one of those states where there's always something to do, no matter what time of year it is. So if it's winter, a lot of people here love going skiing, snowboarding, going up to the mountains. And you know, Winter Park is only about 90 minutes away from Denver. Now it can get a little packed, like on Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, people try to get there. The roads can get pretty packed and clogged up, so could take you a couple of hours to get through there. So make sure you just plan for that if you are planning on going up to the mountains for skiing or snowboarding and then coming back. Now with that sun, of course it's heating your car up. It's a lot more intense here than most places, which is a lot of times a good thing, because if it's like decent temperature, like 55 degrees out, you're in a t-shirt and it's sunny. Now, it's like 63 degrees, that's like pool weather. 63 degrees, sunny, May, great time to go to the pool. A lot of people think it's too cold, but then you're out there for a few minutes. Oh my gosh, it's just absolutely perfect temperature. And not only with that, perfect temperature and stuff, you gotta watch your skin. Because a lot of people think, oh, well, higher elevation, it's a mile high city, it's not gonna have as intense sun. Oh, that is intense. And if you are as a pale skin as I am, you could burn pretty quickly. So just be careful, put that sunblock on, because it might not feel like it at the time, but it definitely can burn you into a flaming hot Cheeto if you're not careful. It's quite the misconception that Denver is always cold, and it's very cold. I think that's because a lot of the pictures are just like a pretty skyline of Denver with the mountains behind it, and you see all the snow caps, and it could be May and it still snows up on the mountains. Well, in Denver, it's really not that much different than a lot of the Midwest is at the same time. The difference is it's not nearly as humid as a lot of the Midwest. So it feels a lot nicer. Like during the winter, it's very few times that I actually have to put on a heavy coat. It has to be like snowing, like a blizzard, maybe not quite a blizzard, but snowing quite a bit, kind of that weather, before I'm actually putting on a heavy coat. Most of the time, I'm in a light jacket during the winter, and then come the springtime, if the sun's out, I'm rarely wearing a jacket. Of course, I'm a realtor, so we like to wear blazers, so I like to wear them as long as I can. And that time is in March, and January through March. Other than that, it kind of gets a little warm to wear a blazer, like under 65 degrees if the sun's out. Over that, it's just too hot. So like right now, I'm not even sure what the temperature. It's 75 degrees out, and I am in a room that's south facing. The sun is facing us. This is an afternoon, so it's making this pretty warm. It's the biggest kept secret of Denver is the climate here and the weather and how it feels. So you can be, no joke, you can be at the pool, let's say April Fool's Day, April 1st. You can be at the pool, getting your suntan on, everything else, maybe drinking margaritas, and then the very next day, you could drive up to Winter Park and go snow skiing. All in the same weekend. It's pretty crazy how it works. So if you like to experience all 4 seasons, but you like the best of each of the seasons, Denver might be the place for you. The biggest complaint I hear from people about Denver is all the other people moving in here, especially if they're native to Colorado. I remember 10 years ago, I could be on Highway 36, have my cruise control set. This was before the fancy adaptive cruise control, and I would never have to put on a brake or anything. I just set the cruise control at like 5 o'clock on a Friday evening. That will not happen anymore. You will have traffic. It's not too terrible because we have so many ways to get around in this town. If one place is blocked off, there's 1,000 side streets you can go. There's a bunch of different highways. We got I-25 going right through the center of town, but a lot of times that can get congested, especially during busy times. Well, there's 225 goes around, 470, so you can take those other ways, or you can take side streets. We have a lot of decent side streets to get to pass all of that. If you don't like sitting in traffic and just waiting for something to get cleared, there's options, which a lot of like coastal cities don't really have that option that we do. So they have like one bridge to get home, and if they can't get on that bridge is blocked. Well, they could be sitting there for a couple hours. I've had to do that many times when I've been to other coastal cities, and for me, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't even care if it's going to take me just as long to get around somewhere as it would just sitting in traffic, but I just much rather just be moving. It's just way nicer. I don't know if you're like me, friend, but that's just how I am. One thing you should know about Denver is the air quality. Now, if you have certain allergies, now it is very dry and it can get a little windy, just like at days. Most of the days it's actually really calm. But then when that's blowing around, it hasn't rained for a while, all those allergens can be picked up. Maybe there's a fire or something going on, and that can be blown there. The air might not clean away like it will in a lot of Midwest towns where they have open land, so then any pollutants will just be blown away. Denver, because it's right next to the mountains, the wind will blow over, and maybe a lot of that allergens and pollutants will kind of hang around a little bit. So if you're very sensitive and you're looking for a place where there's not as much allergens, then you might look at another place, or maybe further outside, away from the mountains, or maybe right in the mountains. Really just depends on your allergens. Just pay attention to that. Or if it's kind of outdoor allergies, then air purifier. I have one because of having a cat, and also a couple years ago we had a bunch of forest fires, so that also got a lot of allergies and everything else into place. So the air purifier helps a ton. So if you manage it, then a lot of times for most people it's going to be pretty good. But if you're in a highly sensitive group, just pay attention to that. If you're thinking about moving here and you have more questions, please just give me a call. I'm James Hahn. My phone number is 303-746-7504. I would love to help you out, answer any questions you may have. And also, if you're watching this video, will you do me a huge favor? Will you please like, show a little bit of love to that subscribe button and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss any more Denver updates. Bye, friends!